Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Capital City News. I'm your host, Yusuf Mong, and this is your best way to stay informed and engaged with Salt Lake City government. On this week's episode, we're taking a look at living traditions, the history of living traditions, and the community development block grants. But first, our lookbacks. SLC TV, back here on Washington Square. It's a little bit quieter now, guys. You wanna know why? Because Living Traditions is over. Here's what you missed.
My name is Nemanja. I'm here with the Serbian booth, Serbian church. So, yeah, that's us.
Guys, it smells so good. I don't know if you can tell. If we could like put the smell through the camera, I wish we could, because it smells amazing over here. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're making?
Yeah. So what you're looking at here are cevapi. Cevapi are traditional Balkan food. They're beef and lamb, little minced sausages. Pretty good. So, yeah.
You had me at beef and lamb. I'm in. All right, we're here on the East Lawn learning bocce ball. Want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, bocce, we think bocce originated in Egypt about 5,000–6,000 years ago. The Italians picked it up. I like to blame Mark Antony. It's Cleopatra. She taught him how to play the game. I don't think that's true, but it's a great story. So anyway, it's one of the favorite games in Italy. And bocce means kiss. So the idea is, this is a Polino, and the idea is to get as close as you can to the Polino. And the other team tries to get closer, and you can knock them away. There's a lot of things you can do. And when you get all through throwing your 4 balls, your team or your single person, however you want to do it, you can play up to 8 people. Then you get a score based on who's closer than the other team. And you can score as many as 4 points, but that's very unusual. Usually it's 1 or 2.
What have you seen so far? What have you been excited, or what are you looking forward to seeing?
I've seen it all, I think, except the dancing. Haven't seen the dancing yet. Shopped all the food, had some spicy potatoes from, where was it? Nepal, Tibet.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
And yeah, I just like bringing my kids to get out of the Utah bubble and experience a little bit of the world.
Love it. That's so cool to hear. I'm so happy to hear it. So is that your favorite? What's your favorite food? Like favorite thing you've ever had at Living Traditions? Do you know? Can you even think of that?
Oh, I always like the curry, but yeah, today I went for the spicy potatoes. It was great.
Living Traditions. It's amazing. It smells amazing. It looks amazing. It's amazing.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for coming out. This might be our best turnout ever.
All right.
Woo! Just tell me that maybe you'll come in the winter too. Because we ride year round. I see a lot of new faces and a lot of folks who show up almost every ride with us. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. I'm Mayor Mendenhall, and when I became the mayor, we had a pandemic. We didn't do a lot of group bike riding as a mayor's office at that time, but when we came back, we said, this is so much fun. We're not going to do it once a year. We're going to do it every quarter. And we've been doing that for a couple years now. So this is one of the sweet rides, the late spring ride. But please come back, ride with us again. And we've done stickers almost every quarter, and we have new stickers this year that are gonna feature where we're riding from instead of the season. So if you don't have a Wasatch Hollow Mayor's Bike to Work sticker yet today, come get one of those vinyls. And let's mount up and get on this.
Detail left, face. Precinct arms.
We succeed and we achieve our greatest ambitions because of the dedication and the leadership of you, our police officers, and the work that you do every day. It's an honor to recognize the sacrifices of the most devoted public servants in our city the fallen officers who lost their lives in the line of duty, the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice, and who we will honor forever as heroes.
On this week's interview, we're taking a closer look at the Community Development Block Grant. What is the CDBG? More than just a collection of consonants.
I'm Noah Chacon. I'm one of 2 housing rehabilitation specialists at the Housing Stability Department, working exclusively on the handyman and the home repair program. The handyman program is an annual fixed grant of $1,500, which we sort of disperse as needed with senior citizens or elderly individuals over 62, as well as those with disabilities. And basically, once they apply for it, me and my colleague would go out to the house, and then we would just kind of work out with them anything, if they're missing any repairs that haven't come to their attention. Just checking like the feasibility, like just like a general quoting it for our handyman actual contractors. And then we'll just schedule the workout so they can get it repaired. And it can be done annually, which means they could reapply for the next year. They can still get that same grant for different repairs, during that year. So there'll always be like issues, especially with like people with access issues that, even little fixes can mean a huge difference. For example, we have an individual who lives near Rose Park. She is getting grab bars actually for her shower so that it can help her, be more safe, just operating, doing everyday tasks in her house. And there's another one too, is in a wheelchair. The handyman program can kind of crease out, say, if there's something sticking out of her ramp, and maybe if there's any issues with doors and stuff. And it's the little things around the house really, but it really does kind of come out in like in a good quantity of stuff, after a while. It's just being able to look around the people who live in the neighborhoods. Like, I think Rose Park really reminds me of like the neighborhood that I kind of grew up in. So I kind of understand some of those people with older homes that they either just don't have the time to be able to keep up with them, or they don't really have, as much family or friends that could help them out too. So I like being able to kind of fill that hole for those people.
3, 2, 1, go.
So community development block grants are important to families in terms of health, because having a roof over your home that doesn't leak, right, makes a huge difference. Having heating, having air condition makes a difference, and what CDBG dollars can do is they can help with those repairs. So when I was growing up, we were a family that moved around a lot. We were a very transient family, and we always rented just because of our income level. When we were finally able to buy a home, we had bought a starter home that was a big fixer-upper. Now, we didn't benefit directly with CDBG dollars because they weren't around at that time, but we always had some issues with heating, with electrical, with the roof, with plumbing, and we would have to save money before we would fix that. So the thing about CDBG dollars, is community development block grant dollars, is you can get a grant or you can get a loan, and that can happen immediately. And so you don't have as many colds in the family because you have heat, right? You don't have any issues with water. And so imagine, I always think back, if I was growing up, if I would have had a home that had running water, that didn't have a roof that was leaking, that it would make it easier for me to study as a high school student, right? It would make it easier for my mother to cook. So just the conditions, the quality of living makes a huge difference, and that's where CDBG dollars make a difference. It improves the quality of life for that family, for that home, and for that neighborhood.
Were you ever curious about the tradition behind living traditions? We were, so we looked it up. You have to go back to May 10th and 11th, 1986 to see the very first edition of Living Traditions.
In 1986, artist Naj Wyckoff conceived of a traveling art piece called the Prairie Ship Liberty to help celebrate the centenary of the Statue of Liberty. This massive mobile art installation would be 24,000 square feet of sails hoisted on old utility poles, sails that would use the prairies of the United States as its ship. It moved from one part of the country to the next before finding its way to France as a gift to the country who gave us the Statue of Liberty. At each port of call, Wyckoff asked the local community to put together an ethnic festival to celebrate America's diversity. The Salt Lake City Arts Council and the Utah Arts Council's Folk Arts program took on the task and developed the first Living Traditions Festival, a celebration of Salt Lake's folk and ethnic arts. This first celebration was 2 days and took place at This Is the Place State Park, then called Pioneer Trail State Park. The festival included many of the same activities seen today, highlighting the rich and diverse heritage of Salt Lake, music and dance stage performances, traditional craft art demonstrations, and a variety of ethnic foods, all looming under the shadow of the Prairie Ship Liberty.
Well, sadly, that's it for another episode of Capital City News. But remember, the best way to stay engaged is to stay informed. You can do that by following us on social media at SLC.gov, tuning into Channel 17, or subscribing to us on YouTube. Reporting in from the main library downtown, I'm Yusuf Mong.